Be a flamingo amongst a flock of pigeons. That's what we're all about at SMC. Welcome to episode 16 of the new Salon Marketing Show. My name is Vanessa McDonald. I am the founding director of Salon Marketing Creative Agency, and we specialize in helping beauty salons scale their business through skin treatments and retail sales with a specific focus on client retention. During this week's episode of the show, it's actually part two as a continuation from last week's episode 15, where I started talking about and giving you tips on how you can increase your clients' lifetime value for your salon. And last week I delivered 2 tips. This week I'm going to deliver 3 tips on how you can achieve just that. Now, if you're joining me for the first time, please leave a comment, say hello, let me know the name of your salon, where you're watching from. Are you currently in lockdown, or you just recently come out of a lockdown, so that I can get to know you better. I'm going to start by sharing my screen, and we are going to dive straight in. Okay. Yeah, so part 2, 3 more tips to help you increase your client's lifetime value. Last week I spoke about and gave you strategies for making recommendations, which was tip number 1 on how to increase your client's lifetime value, and also how to plan for and strategize around transitioning clients to new services and products. Today we're going to be looking at frequency of visit. We're also going to be looking at client reactivation, lost client reactivation, and increasing your prices. So tip number 3 is frequency. And frequency of visit is definitely, it's one of the 3 key areas we focus on when we're working with a salon owner at SMC. And the reason that we do this is because frequency of visit is hands down one of the easiest ways to increase your client's lifetime value. If you're seeing a client for, say, 6 visits per year on average, or your average, as far as your overall active client database goes, if on average you're seeing clients 6 times a year, if you can increase that visit cycle from every 8 weeks to every 6 weeks, the actual effect it has on your overall sales revenue for the year can be extraordinary. And I'm actually going to share with you a demonstration on how easy it is to achieve that. So I'm going to grab an Excel spreadsheet, which is definitely going to show you, and probably I would imagine get many of you very excited on why frequency of visit is a key component to increasing your clients' overall lifetime value. All right. Here we go. Okay, it's asking me to update, which is not helpful right now. So I'm going to say no to that. Okay, excellent. Sharing my screen again. Here you go. So for this example, you can see that we have an average spend of $100. The number of clients that we're currently taking care of on a regular basis, 6 times per year, is 500. And that gives us an overall annual revenue result, or even forecast, if you're forecasting at the beginning of the year, of $300,000 per year. So what I'm suggesting is, if we can, at the moment, these 500 clients, we're seeing them every 8 weeks. If we can see them every 6 weeks instead, which would equate to 8 visits per year, watch what happens to our overall revenue right here. So we're going from 6 to 8, and just like that, we've come up with an extra $100,000 in sales revenue for the year. It's definitely worth your attention, wouldn't you agree? Yes. And it is, what I'm going to give you next are some tips on how you can make that happen, some easy tips on how you can actually make that happen. So let's go back to our slides. If you have a point of sale software program, especially one of our industry specific brands, such as Timely, Forest, Katoomba, Shortcuts, Beautyware, Zenoti, MindBody, most of them will have a standard feature where you can be sending a client an email and an SMS at the very least on automation to remind them it's time to see them again. If you haven't already got these features activated through your chosen POS system, do it today. It's as simple as making a call to the help desk, and if you're not sure how to do it, and let them know what it is you're wanting to achieve. Ask them which touch points you're able to activate automatically so that clients are receiving reminders it's time for them to book for their regular appointments. Most of the systems out there will allow you to send an email and an SMS, or an email or an SMS, or both. If you can do both, what we recommend you do at SMC is send the email first. So ideally, if you'd like to see your clients every, say, 4 weeks, send your email, because it costs nothing to send an email, at week 4. No offer is required. It's literally just a reminder it's time to see them again. Then activate an SMS, which can cost you a small amount, at week 5. And then take the follow-up even further, especially for those clients that you are seeing on a regular basis. If they haven't responded to the email or the SMS, go to the trouble of picking up the phone and calling them specifically to book them in for their regular services. Now, of course, when to send the email, the SMS, or make the phone call is going to depend on the type of services that you offer and how frequently that you would ideally like to see your ideal client. So that's something that you can determine for yourself. Perhaps you'd like to send the email at week 3, the SMS at week 4, and make the call at week 5. Okay, what I want to point out to you is very few salons do this. In fact, very few small businesses in general utilize this basic form of direct response marketing to help increase frequency of visit. So it's an area that you can stand out like a flamingo amongst a flock of pigeons if you're not already doing it, because it's and you activate it, you go ahead and implement this tactic, because it's very unlikely other salons around you or other small businesses around you are doing it. So your clients will see it as gold class customer service, and it will also keep your brand top of mind. Remember, if you feel a little bit hesitant about sending out reminders, if you're worried that people will feel hassled or bothered, try and think of it in another way. Yes, people are busy, but if they're having a treatment on a more regular basis, especially when it comes to skin treatments and facials, the outcome for them is that they're going to have healthier skin. So you're able to deliver value to them by just reminding them it's time for them to have their treatment again, in the results that they will themselves experience, because you are putting your foot forward to better serve them by reminding them that it's time for them to have that service again. Tip number 4 is reactivation, to help you increase your client lifetime value. And reactivation is one big diamond. If you watched part 1, last week's episode of the new Salon Marketing Show, where we delivered 2 tips, prior to kickstarting that live, I shared a story with you that's been around for decades now, and it's a story of a farmer in Africa who owned a farm, and he set out searching the world, for diamonds, mining for diamonds in different areas of Africa. And what he ended up discovering, he sold his farm to go out and mine for diamonds. And what he ended up discovering years later, after he didn't have any luck in his search, was that the farm that he sold actually had, ended up having a huge diamond mine right there, right underneath his feet before he went out searching outside of what he already had. And it was a tragic story, didn't end well for the farmer. But the moral to the story is sometimes we look outside of what we already have, but when really we can go mining for diamonds right within our own backyard. So client reactivation is a great example of mining for diamonds in your own backyard, utilizing your database. So my question to you is, when was the last time that you actually contacted your past clients, those clients that have come to see you before, probably on a regular basis, even just 1, 2, or 3 times, but they, for whatever reason, didn't come back? In marketing, we consider this low-hanging fruit, okay? And it's very easy for you to pull a list of non-returning clients and to be able to then to launch a reactivation campaign to win them back. Now, if you're not sure how to do this, again, contact your chosen POS system and ask them, get them to show you, book some education so that you're learning how to pull these specific lists from your database. And then plan a reactivation campaign to entice them back, those lost clients, with a strong offer. It's really important as well. It's one thing to send out an email, an SMS, to make a phone call as part, and to send something in the post as 4 specific touch points on that you might include to launch a reactivation campaign. But it's really important that you're ready at front desk and you have process in place so that when people start to contact you or when you're making those outbound calls, that you have procedures in place for the team to follow to ensure that as many of those clients that are responding to your campaign actually make a booking. So think about, it's one thing to send out a great offer and to utilize email, SMS, send something in the post like a gift voucher, make a phone call, but it's important to have those processes in place so that the staff are across what it is that you're trying to achieve. They understand the why of the reactivation campaign, who the clients are, how long it's been since they've come back, perhaps even the type of treatments that they were having on a regular basis, and the process they need to follow in order to book them in. We recently, in our Foundation Marketing Focus group on Facebook, encouraged our members to participate in a lost client reactivation challenge, and we had an average of 10 to 13% of all of the salon owners who went in the challenge who pulled a list of non-returning clients. The average conversion they got from that list was 10 to 13% by utilizing all of those touch points. So it's definitely worthwhile. For one clinic in particular, that represented well over $20,000 in extra additional revenue that was just sitting there like at low-hanging fruit. All she had to do was activate her foundation marketing strategy for lost clients to reactivate them, went ahead and did that, and as a result can look forward to that revenue streaming into her business for the next 12 months ahead. So it's definitely worthwhile learning how to pull the reports, pull the marketing lists, and then to execute a simple reactivation campaign. Also, what we like to talk about at SMC is that all clients are new clients when it comes to marketing. we spend a lot of time focusing on getting new clients into the business. So this is one area where you can focus on your existing clients. When they come back when they make a booking after having, a fairly long break from your clinic, and if you do what I'm suggesting here today, and you implement a reactivation campaign, when that lost client comes back for the first time, treat them like they're new again. So if you have a client welcome pack, or if you have any procedures you follow to welcome new clients into the business, to introduce them to all the different services that you offer, your specialty, your niche, the skincare brands that you have available for them to take care of their skin at home, however you present that to a new client, what I suggest you do is treat those lost clients that you've won back exactly the same way. That's also going to help to increase their average spend. So our third tip for today, but our fifth tip for this two-part series on how to increase your client lifetime value, is increase your prices. And this is the time of the year, it's the best time of the year. We're 5 days into a new financial year. If you haven't already announced a price increase, now is definitely the time to do it. And what I would get you to think about when you're considering increasing your prices is, how did you come up with your current pricing structure in the first place? And was it based on what other people were charging? Was it based on what you think clients are willing to pay? Or is it based on the results that you actually are able to deliver to someone? Because what you've got to remember is that what you do, especially when it comes to skin, advanced skin treatments, and all your training and all your education, all your knowledge, your own intelligence, beauty therapists and salon owners often will undervalue themselves, and that will be reflected through their pricing. So what I would say and what I'm suggesting is just consider that what results, when you're looking at pricing a treatment, what are the results that we are going to be delivering to someone? How is it going to change their life? How much value are we offering to our clients through this treatment, through all the time that we've spent investing in the piece of equipment, learning about how it's going to help them in their skin, all of our education combined, years of education? Are we undervaluing ourselves just because someone up the road is charging $150 less than us, or like $150 under the true value of the treatment? So stick to, back yourself and feel confident when you're pricing your services. Don't worry about what's going on around you, because there are people out there looking for true specialists who can deliver the results that they need. Ask yourself, how much value do we add to this person's life through this treatment before you go ahead and you price it, rather than just focusing on the cost of goods and what your competitors are charging. Okay. Also, remember, if you're feeling nervous about increasing your prices because of the way the economy is, or lockdowns, or what's going on with COVID, what you've got to be aware of is that your expenses are probably increasing, and if you don't increase your prices, then you have a decrease in income. So consider all of those factors as well when you're making that decision. So when was the last time you actually raised your prices? Leave me a comment and let me know. And at least 10% every year is a good place to start. So to recap, this two-part series of the New Salon Marketing Show, episode 15 and 16, on how to increase your client lifetime value. We talked about recommendation, making, upselling and recommending to your existing clients. Never assume just because someone pays a lot of money for something, it might be a skin program, for example, that they wouldn't also be willing to buy that serum that's going to get them a better outcome of results. Because if they're spending $1,000 on a skin program, a serum that's say $120 would probably seem like really good value. So when it comes to making those sorts of recommendations, don't ever be afraid if someone has invested quite a bit to make more suggestions so that they can get even better results. Transitioning your clients to services and products. What I talked about there was to have a transition plan. For example, if you have a client who responds to a promotion and the promotion might have some type of value-added hook offer for a certain type of treatment, be ready for where to take that skin next, for where to take that person next on their skin journey. And it could be to transition them into a skin fitness boot camp or a course of peels, because it's currently our peak peel season. So just be prepared in advance on, okay, I've got this client coming in for this service today. Where can I take them next? Okay. And we've talked today about reminders, reactivation campaigns, and also I'm suggesting increasing your prices. And there are 5 tips on how you can increase your client's lifetime value. I hope that has been helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you next week for episode 17 of the new Salon Marketing Show, where I will be welcoming a special guest. Yes, we'll be focusing on training for advanced modalities and all sorts of in-center training, but also how to market when you've invested in a piece of equipment, which I know many of you have off the back of end of financial year sales. And you may have invested in a new piece of equipment, and you could even have training booked for your team for that piece of equipment. Is that going to be enough? When it comes to training, not so sure. So we're going to have an expert come and join us about to discuss that, and also launching and marketing that new piece of equipment as well. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you all here next week. Have a great week. Bye for now.